I'm pleased to say I'm joined by one of the debutantes in the US Darts Masters this week, Jake Macmillan. Thanks for the time, Jake. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. Pleasure to be on.
Great to have you on, and we're talking 3 days before you make that walkout at Madison Square Garden for your World Series debut. How are you feeling with just a few days to go now?
I'm pretty excited, a little nervous, but I can't wait to get there and take it all in.
We spoke earlier with another of the North American qualifiers, Alex Spellman, and he qualified back in October, whereas yourself, you came through the qualifiers still less than 2 weeks ago. Would you have preferred more time to prepare, or do you like that you've not had much time to think about it?
Yeah, I think not having much time to think about it has its advantages. It was quite the ride to get there, so I think less time to worry about it. Just get on with it, ready to play.
Well, we'll come on to those qualifiers a bit later, and let's circle back though to the very start for you in darts. How and when did you first discover the game?
As soon as I was able to walk, my dad, my uncle, my grandfather, they had me throwing darts as early as I can remember. I have pictures of me in diapers beside the diaper bag, throwing darts up against the wall and to a dartboard. It's just in my family. It's like in my blood, I guess.
And yourself and your family obviously being from Canada, was darts always the main sport for you, or were you involved in playing in any other sports growing up?
I played a bunch of sports growing up, mainly softball. So I would play darts in the winter, and then during the summer I would stop playing and just play softball. It wasn't up until maybe I was around 18 that I started to take darts a little more serious.
So what has the dart scene been like for you in Ontario over the years, playing the game since you started to take it a bit more seriously? What opportunities have you had to play?
So when I was 18, I was in my first big ranking tournament. It was a lot to take in, a bunch of dart players, and like I said, I was 18 years old, didn't know what to expect. I played decent, and a woman by the name of Marjorie Allardyce, she seen me play, and she looked after the youth scene, and she said she wanted me to play provincials. So I took the plunge into being more competitive, playing the youth darts, and I ended up winning provincials and going to Alberta for the nationals. And it was around that time that I figured, I can actually do this. Then I would play doubles and four-man teams with my dad and my uncle, just all over Ottawa area and stuff like that. Up until last year, I went to the Ottawa provincials. I was one round away from qualifying for the team in that, but I knew I was right there. The game was starting to come along. This year, I ended up winning the whole provincials, which was an achievement among itself. And that was just back in April. And to think just a few months later that I'm going to be playing in Madison Square Garden is it's pretty unbelievable, really.
Definitely. And you mentioned those provincials. I was going to come on to them because even before winning through those qualifiers, it's already been a memorable year for you on the dartboard, winning those provincials. And I think you mentioned on another interview coming through a field of 500 players to win that title. So what did that win mean to you?
Oh, it was massive for the confidence. Ontario has such a large and deep pool of good players. In the top 8, I had to take on Ross Snook, who is pretty well known, and in the semis beating Jim Long, who also will be there at Madison Square Garden, and coming through a nail biter in the final. But just the amount of players and the amount of good players in Ontario, it's quite the feat.
Definitely is. And you've also dipped your toe into the water with the CDC this year as well. You went to their Q school in February. What was the decision behind that? Did you feel that now was the time to try and progress your game on that circuit?
Yeah, I feel I felt like I had the game and we always go to the Syracuse tournament anyways. Great tournament. And I thought, you know what? I'm there anyways. Let's try the CBC qualifier, see how it goes. And end up making the final. Lost, I think, 5-4 in the final. Great games. I played well all weekend, and that was another boost of confidence. That was just before provincials too, so that might have helped progress me along.
Yeah, you mentioned that run to the final of Q School and the weekend of the World Series qualifiers. That was one of your first weekends playing on the CDC tour. So how are you feeling going into that weekend? Not just the qualifiers to play, but you had 3 tour events as well.
Yeah, it was. The CDC is something else, I tell you. Walking into the room, starstruck, really. Just everywhere you look, just phenomenal dart players. It's quite incredible just to walk amongst all the guys. My CDC on Friday, the main event, didn't go to plan. I didn't play overly great, but I thought, you know what, it's my first day. It's all a learning experience. Just try and progress through the weekend. Saturday, ran into Danny Baggish second round. Had a few darts to go up in a game, and he ended up taking it. So I wasn't going into the U.S. Masters on a high note by any means, but I did stick with it and made a good run to the final, beating some good players along the way. Gavin Nickel, Ryan Vanderwhite, Jacob Taylor, Leonard Gates. It was phenomenal, really, for me. And then I fell apart in the final, but all credit to Jason Brandon. He shot amazing, even though my game was dipped off. He still brought his darts, and it was incredible to watch, really.
Yeah, you mentioned that run to the final of the first qualifier before losing out. Were you able to get much sleep that night before the next day, the second qualifier, knowing that you'd got so close, but also with the Order of Merit, you were in pole position to get a spot?
Yeah, so I didn't get any sleep, to be honest with you. I think I got back to the hotel around 12:31, and then back up again, maybe 7 o'clock. But I was feeling... I got second, so I'm in a good spot now. I just have to make a good run now on Sunday and hope for the best, really.
And looking at that second qualifier, you couldn't have asked for a much tougher draw. You look at Danny Lauby Jr. first up, then Jacob Taylor, Darren Young. That's just to get through the first 3 rounds. So what was your reaction at the start of the day when you've seen the draw come out?
So I was warming up, and they announced that the bracket was open, and so I scroll through and I see Danny Lauby first, and I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? Like, could I not have drawn a more favorable draw my first round? But I played well. I beat Danny, and I went and sat back. I was chatting with a few of the guys. I knew the second round was about to begin, so I figured I'll go and check the next round. And I scroll through and seen that it was Jacob Taylor. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be the toughest draws around to get through here today. I did end up coming through that. I played very well against Jacob Taylor. Then third round, Darren Young. So it didn't get any easier. That was quite the battle against Darren Young. He deserved to beat me. He really did. Just missed some doubles. So I was thankful for the chances.
Well, you go out, I think, the last 16 of that second qualifier. What is that time like between then and I think you said as well that when they announced at the end that you've got the spot on the Order of Merit, that was when you found out, but to begin with you thought that you'd missed out?
Yeah, so at the time I didn't know if I would have just beat Elliott, I would have guaranteed my spot. I wasn't looking at the numbers really, and so he played well. He deserved to beat me, so I went and sat back, was chatting with the lads, really didn't know, I knew whoever finished second, him and I were going to be tied with points, and I didn't want to I didn't want to crunch the numbers to see, leg difference and all this. But I had a bunch of people come up to me when Elliot and JT were in the finals saying, you need a 5-0 or a 5-1 either way, and then you're in. So Elliot went up 2-0, and I thought, okay, Elliot, you might as well make it 5-0. But JT came back, and he won 2 legs in a row. Well, he ended up winning 5 in a row, but it was when it hit 2-2, I figured, I didn't do enough. I'm probably not going to make it now. And so JT ends up winning 5-2. And so I'm just sitting down with the lads, a little bummed because I figured, probably didn't do enough to make it. But, oh well, I was happy with how I played. And yeah, maybe 15, 20 minutes later, Peter announces the names. Jason Brandon's qualified, JT's qualified, and then he said my name, and my jaw hit the table. I'm telling you, it was unbelievable.
Good times. And we saw as well on Facebook that you've held a fundraiser to help raise money for you to play on the CDC tour, obviously with the costs of travelling. So now that you've qualified for the US Darts Masters off the back of that, how much has that support helped you, and what does it mean to have repaid that support as well, I guess?
Yeah, the support has been phenomenal. My buddy Andy Brown Carpentry, he's been a big help, big sponsor for me. My friend Norm from Tomasino's Pizza, he has also been incredible. And the fundraiser, just have all my friends and family out, and fellow dart players come support me. It's an incredible feeling that they believe in my darts and my performances. So it feels nice to give back and show them that I have the game to live up to what they're expecting.
Definitely. And for you, darts isn't a full-time career. What is it you do for work, and what are your aspirations for darts? Would you like to one day make it your career, or are you just going to see how far this run takes you?
I would love to be able to play darts for a living and be able to live off that. That's the dream. Wouldn't be able to ask for more than that. Right now, I still work full-time Monday to Friday doing factory work. It's close to home, so it's not too bad. A couple-minute drive, so can't really complain there.
And we saw as well you've got a new shirt for Madison Square Garden this week. You've ticked that box, but what about the walk-on? Have you picked a song yet you're going to walk out to?
So the new shirt, I actually won't be wearing that one at Madison Square Garden. My buddy had just given it to me. It's a nice shirt, but I'm still going to keep the other 2 that I have. I'll be wearing those. And no, the walk-on song, I still don't know what I'm going to use. I've been going through music for the last week here, trying to pick a song.
Yeah. An important choice for every dart player. And what about the draw then? Because when we're talking, the draw's not been made yet for the first round, but is there any of those 8 players, any of the top PDC names you'd like to go on that stage and play?
Yeah, so I just seen on Facebook that the draw is being held Thursday, I believe, and I'll be traveling Thursday, so hopefully at some point I'll be able to watch it live. That would be nice. In regards to playing any of the pros, playing any of those 8 guys is going to be an incredible experience. I look forward to, if it was any one of them. Looking forward to play anyone? Oh, man, playing Van Gerwen, Premier League champ now, that would be incredible. Price always is amazing. Peter, the atmosphere he brings, just every single one of them. It's no matter who I get, it's just I'm going to be shocked, basically.
I don't blame you. And you've also got the North American Championship to play in this weekend. It could be a potentially life-changing weekend if you do go all the way, and with that win gets you into the Grand Slam, the World Championship as well. So how do you try and put all of that to one side and I guess just try and play your own game?
Yeah, so going into this weekend, playing the pro here is a bonus, really. Not that I'm not focused on playing the pro. Obviously, I want to play well against one of those guys, but the main focus is doing well in that North American shoot and winning, because what comes with it is some incredible achievements.
And just lastly, before we let you go, beyond this week, what is the plan for the rest of this year? Have you got any other CDC events that you signed up for? Is there any other events that you've got your eye on as well?
Yeah, so I'll be at all three of the other CDC events, July, September, August. I'm hoping to qualify for the Continental Cup. However, it's my first year, and I know they go by a 2-year order of merit through that, so I might not qualify for the Continental Cup. I'm going to try my best to, but for sure the 3 CDC events are the main focus after this weekend.
Excellent. Well, Jake, it's a pleasure to chat to you. We appreciate you taking out the time, and congratulations on qualifying for the US Darts Masters this week. Wish you all the best for this weekend and what else is to come this year as well.
Thank you. I appreciate having your time too, and it was a pleasure talking to you.